BLERD Official Podcast. I am your host, Karan Ashley, and I am so excited you are here. If you only knew the conversations that happened right before re-election, it is, that's why usually when the camera comes up, we're laughing and we're kind of like already giggling about things because we've been talking. Hilton George, you've been talking.
Yeah,
Yes.
look, all that is going to be a part of the subscription service, BOP Plus, and y'all can. It'll just all the camera. The show will just start whenever we turn on. Whenever we log in, you log in. And you get to see all the backstage. You get to hear all the tea about what's going on.
We need to have a BOP Plus. We might get in trouble. We might get canceled.
Yeah,
some of the things we talk about.
Y'all ain't ready for it. Some of y'all sensitive. Y'all don't like to hear certain things.
Sensitive. Yes, Christi Renee. She ain't sensitive. She here for all the noise. Look at it. Fuck around and find out. She's here. She showed up ready to.
You weren't supposed to read it all the words. I mean,
I'm gonna read all the words.
This is a family show. This is a family show. I know. No, not when you and Hilton show up. Now let my camera fall, and it turns into a whole other kind of show. But hey, guys,
y'all let her go to Philly. So
she got Black Panther. She come back Black Panther in. Look at her.
Radicalized.
I just got some announcements. I'm hoping I can roll out soon. So we'll see. But
girl, me too. But
I'm here. I'm ready. I'm excited because oh my God, we got some. I need to get my water ready. Lord, let me
get your refreshments.
Lord, I'm sage because I'm in the moment. Let's get it. Let's go.
I'm ready to go. Out of my Power Ranger cup. We are officially on a countdown for the Power Ranger 30th anniversary, which is coming to you guys April 19th. Your girl is in it, and a bunch of other people, and it's going to be amazing. I just want to throw that out there. I know a bunch of my other superhero friends.
I love that. I'm excited. I love the trailer.
Excited. Yeah. The trailer premiered the other day, and if people are excited, we're excited. It's all good. But you know what got me even more excited than my own project? Creed 3.
Talk about it.
Me and Christi. Okay, one of the things that we did when we were in Seattle for Emerald City Comic Con, I told her before she even stepped on a plane, honey, we're going to go see Creed.
Hello. I was ready.
Opening night. Friday night, we're going to go see it. And Hilton, I wish you would have been with us because we saw it in the 4D experience where the chairs are moving.
The 4DX.
First off, the 4D system probably broke down because y'all was moving more than the system.
Hold up.
The system like this not in the program. These seats ain't supposed to be rumbling like this. What they doing on row 4?
This woman that I was with, who will remain nameless, Christi Renee, she was like, first of all, neither one of us had ever done the 4DX experience.
First time.
Like, I knew the seats would move. I knew you get like a bang, and I didn't realize there was going to be like cold wind. First of all, it's freezing in Seattle. Cold wind blowing on your face, water. I don't know where this water has come from. It
was a mist.
I didn't get to check nobody's pipe, so I was like, where is water coming from? Is it distilled hitting my mouth naked? I might get a rash. I turned that water off, and then I could enjoy the movie because I'm like, I got sensitive skin.
I wanted all of it.
This psycho next to me, like, stopped. Every time the scene would move, she'd be like, oh my God, I'm falling. I need a seat belt. Like, literally, there was a whole commentary. And I was like, Christi, shut up. We're trying to watch the movie. Every time, the seat's going to move. We had our first initial reaction. You don't have to scream, or you don't have to have a whole commentary and talk about the seat moving and the splash. Every time it does it, because it does it like 100 times during the movie. It's a boxing movie.
It was the funniest thing. I had never felt that before. I mean, it's like a roller coaster with a movie in your face. And I swear, though, I was like, no, they really do need to I was on the verge of sliding out of the seat. And I'm like, this ain't even no action adventure film. Like, we in the car. Why are we doing this? Why is it like it's a boxing movie with humans boxing?
Yeah.
It's not mechanical boxers.
I couldn't watch like a Marvel movie. I couldn't watch a Marvel.
I would be. It was funny, and I got used to it at a certain point. But I think the people in front of us
later. 30 minutes later.
The people in front of us had to be thoroughly entertained. Like, I saw laughter. Yeah. They was like, I know they was thinking, this lady behind us is crazy.
They laughed the first 3 times. But the 15th, 18th time, it's like, now you're annoying.
Like the 4 sneeze in a row. You're kind of like, all right, you ain't getting blessed no more.
Because it was sit still for so long. I mean, this is a scripted movie, so of course you got calm times, and then you get to the fight, But oh my God, it was an incredible experience, and now I don't want to see a movie without it. Like, it was so dope. It was so dope. I loved it. I loved every second of it.
The manager of the theater and turn down the Negro settings on this thing. Set this so have y'all whooping and hollering because you're already black people in the theater and you're already animated enough. We're already loud. We're already talking.
I'm ready now. I'm ready now.
To be talking through the warning.
I just needed to be broken in, honey. They broke me in on Creed, baby.
Talking through the movie. See, listen,
See. Okay,
that brother on the other side of the theater who thinks he's whispering when he's really just talking in a low,
this one thinks she whispering, but full voice. Full voice is not a whisper.
Stop lying. Stop lying.
Stop lying on me. It's not a whisper.
Stop lying on me.
See, America, is this who y'all want in your movie theaters?
No.
This is why you need
the
Disney
I wanted to kick her out
Warner
myself.
Brothers, and have them pipe these movies in preview format to the BOP so we don't go into your theater and ruin the movie for you. We're doing it for you people.
Yes.
Public service. We want the movies at home.
Let me say this, because I want to clear this up, though. No, seriously. I take movie watching very seriously. I tell kids that I'm around, people, I'm like, don't even breathe. Like, it needs to be so quiet. It was when it would be when the sound, this was a new experience. So the sound would be loud, and I would kind of be competing with the sound. But I felt like
it's so much louder than she thought she was.
It was safe to yell at this particular point because there was like bump, 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 bump going on, and I'm like, oh my God.
This was her perception of it. No. I would imagine the guy in front of us had another story.
You just
be next to her, and I had another story.
But I tell you what, we enjoyed it.
Yes,
we thoroughly enjoyed it.
Back to Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut, Creed 3 came out. And it did not disappoint.
No.
Someone asked me the next day, like, what did I, like, just an impression, what did you think? And I said, you know what, this is what I thought. I thought Creed 1, Michael B. Jordan, he found himself, right? Creed 1, he found himself. He was in search of who he was outside of being abandoned and being Apollo's illegitimate son. Creed 2, he became a boxer. He literally had to go against, Rocky's old nemesis, and it was just deep. And it was, this is the man's son who killed his father. So it was so many layers of him really becoming a boxer and becoming, getting out of the shadow of, his father. This movie, he became a warrior. In so many, I don't know. It's just so many, became a man, became a warrior. He had to overcome his past, and the story was great. The directing was great. The eye candy moments were great. It was everything I wanted and more. Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thomas. I mean, it was like star-studded cast, and it was just everything. It
was.
Okay, Michael B. Jordan, if you're watching this, so Creed 4, you need to be fighting Butterbean, which that real fat bald-headed white dude that can take a punch, but never wins a fight.
Oh my God.
Women can focus on the dialogue, and women can focus on the storyline and plot.
I could not focus.
All the stuff that they
I focused on all of that.
Yeah,
you can tell me.
We caught it. We caught it.
Get past it. I
saw it. You know, Adonis and Damien, I was focused on all of it.
All of it.
The nuances and everything. All of it. Hilton. What was your you obviously aren't me and Christy. No. What was your first impression of this film? And Christy, get ready because I'm coming to you, baby. I'm coming to you.
Honey, I'm ready. I got
okay. So here's what we know about Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is going to Michael B. Jordan the hell out of any role.
And that's fine.
He is that actor. You know, he has got a unique performance and delivery that plugs into a lot of different characters, and that's not a bad thing. Works for The Rock, works for Sylvester Stallone, works for any of these character actors out there. They got a certain delivery. It's not about range. It's not about anything. He's got a presence, and that presence works in all the characters that he puts on the screen. So it was really, really interesting to see him pour himself into this boxing role again, which he had played several times before. He is playing more of the family man. This is not like him trying to achieve. He's achieved. He's retired, and then somebody comes out of his past who is a part of the dark part of his past. And Jonathan Majors is playing that role. His name is Dane, and he's like what a lot of folks who've achieved success. And somebody come out the woodwork that know you from way back when, and they standing on your porch or they sitting on your inbox or hey, you know, whatever. And there's conflict, you know. And both of these actors have put so much into their role. I mean, watching Jonathan Majors do anything is amazing because he's such a method actor. He doesn't even like to call it acting. He describes it as becoming his characters, and he became Dane in this movie. And you believed his animosity, and you believed his anger. And you believed that he was really out there willing to do anything to get what he wanted. And it was just that with him being the villain is what makes movies like this work. If Michael B. Jordan doesn't have somebody to box, it doesn't work. And I really love the boxing choreography, which is a lot harder than people think it is. And the scenery, the way they depicted as a director, I love the devices he used where inside the scene, inside the ring, all the noise and all
that was phenomenal.
It was focused and silence. And the only thing was
just them two
and what they bring in the ring against one another. And you saw that play out. It was the first time I'd ever seen it. You know, the decision making, the reading of the other boxer. We hear about it in other movies, and it's usually a scene where the boxer comes back to the corner, and the corner guy is like, he's letting down his right, hit him with the cross, and then he goes up there and bam. Well, here we're like seeing in slow-mo, like, oh, okay, he's dipping up and then he's leaving this open. You're with the boxer in that scene. But when he goes for the gusto and he's trying to knock the kids and the stuffing out of somebody and all the rings come flying out of Sonic the Hedgehog, you're with him. So as a boxing movie, this movie is groundbreaking and it's amazing. Jonathan Majors, like I said, both of these guys, and I don't know if anybody else noticed this, and I don't know if the ladies noticed this, but Michael B. Jordan is actually smaller in the pre-montage before he's boxing than when he gets in the ring. The physique he has in the ring, he's like 20 pounds heavier than he was in clothes. In the
filled out, honey. He filled it all out.
Which added some real, I don't want to say weight because it literally was that, to the scene of him, you know, doing the training and everything like that. So this stands up with every previous Creed movie, stands up with every Rocky movie. No spoiler as to who's going to win. You know, if you have ever seen a boxing movie, you can probably guess, but that win is hard fought. And what I really like is that the villain is humanized.
Oh,
you know, again, where he came from. You know, he understood in defeat where he came from and who Michael B. Jordan was. You know, Adonis Creed was, and he might even be in Creed 4.
I would imagine.
I don't see him leaving the screen for this. I think they should call him back because and I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Should be the continuation.
If Michael B. Jordan wasn't in this movie, if Jonathan Majors wasn't in this movie, it would automatically lose 3 points.
Yeah.
I give it a strong 8.5, 9 out of 10. Yeah, it's very simple. It's very pure, very emotionally driven, and you know you're gonna cheer, you're gonna laugh. and it's everything you want. So I handed off.
And one thing I will say that I will add to that, when you're an actor like Michael B. Jordan, in order for you to act opposite of such an intense actor like, Jonathan Majors, it takes a certain level of talent. And he did that in, Black Panther when he was across from Chadwick Boseman. He's done this now with, Jonathan Majors. And I really give Michael B. Jordan, he does it with Tessa Thompson. Like when they're in scenes together, she's such a force in those scenes. Yeah. But he is really good, really, really exceptionally good at acting and just absorbing that intensity from that person and reacting to these moments. And like you said, man, Jonathan Majors, like, there were moments where I was so mad at him, and there were so moments I felt all of his pain.
Yes.
It was a complicated villain. Like, he pulled it off. Christi, I'm going to jump back in, but I'll let you go. I don't want to talk too much. What was your thoughts? What were your first impression of this movie? Outside of the outburst, the random outburst.
Listen, I echo everything you both have said about this film. I mean, the way they progressed this story and created this new thing. It wasn't, in the beginning, of course, yes, he's trying to find himself through the, get out of the shadow of his father's name. He doesn't even take on his dad's name. So, I mean, we've got that whole thing in the first one. And in the second one, he's got to fight the Russian, it goes back to that old 80s trope of how we made films that were political, quiet political statements of USA against, this other superpower. So we kind of had that thing going, or that was in the first, it carries over into the second one. Anyway, hey, this third one, the way they push this story with the gym and just his status is now elevated because he's retired. And this blast from his past, comes back and has been training and but he doesn't know it. Of course, that's all kind of masked because he's got this double agenda. And Jonathan Majors, again, he just like we say, Michael B. Jordan the hell out of a role. Jonathan Majors, he majored this. He mastered it per usual, not surprised. I appreciated this storyline so very much because it wasn't like the storyline when Rocky fought Mr. T, and Mr. T was such a crap hole. I hated his character in that movie. Yeah. You had these two brothers that was like brothers. And it wasn't a pretty brotherhood, but it was a brotherhood nonetheless, given their circumstances. And they did the best they could to try to take care of each other. And to watch that unfold, because I was like it's a twist. I know it's coming. And it did. And then when those things were revealed, I'm with you, Karen. Like, I was like, oh, I'm so pissed at him. I know it's some good in him, but I'm always rooting for him. I'm going to root for them and say, I know it's something in there. It's something else to this. It's not the end, but the way they ended this, the way the humility that Jonathan Majors' character, Diamond Dame, honey, he had to learn that humility. Yeah. And it was like something like jail time didn't teach him that humility. It fostered that vengeful spirit of his. And I know I want to get my life back. Well, that humility taught him another way. Yeah. And then for Michael B. Jordan's character to come in and embrace that. I was like, I cried at the end. That meant so much. It just meant so much. It just spoke to the relational value. Again, you seeing these two men, these two Black men, and who are currently, which we got to talk about this, of course, what the real world is trying to do to them, but we'll get to that. I also cannot bypass real quickly the element of the hearing impaired, the deaf audience, and how they included. I thought it was phenomenal. This movie was so freaking good. Again, it was just the building of these stories, and you're right. He's got to come back for Creed 4. It's got to be. This is definitely a new. A new, what do you call it? Not installment, but a whole new legacy of what Rocky built. And it is worth every bit of respect. And I was sad not to see Sylvester Stallone. That really it hurt me. So I don't know what's up with that. But other than that, I mean, I know it has his blessing, and just Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan working together like they do is just invaluable. Like I have no words.
Beautiful thing. Well, you know what? That brings up a deeper meaning. Like you said, we bring up the whole like Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler working together, and you know the other Rockies. You know, Michael B. Jordan was the actor, and in this one, he is he's the director, and they kind of swap places where Brian was he was the writer, he was a producer, and he let Michael B. Jordan fly with the opportunity to direct this film. And really, like there are all kinds of interviews where he talked about calling him and asking his advice and just kind of them talking about it. But it really symbolized the brotherhood, and that's the storyline throughout this. This movie. It's a brotherhood, and it's Black men are faced with such hard opposition in this world, and you have two Black men you meet them and they're like just dreaming and aspiring and just wanting a better life, and they get caught up in one situation that just changes everything for one of them. One of them goes on and continues to dream that dream that they both had of boxing, and the other one unfortunately went to prison. And it was just that one moment that like you heard so many stories of a Black man, one moment changed the whole course of his life. This was kind of one of those stories, and you kind of got to see both sides of the coin. And you touched on this, Christi, about Michael B. Jordan got to kind of live this charmed life, but even though he had personal things that he had to overcome, he definitely wasn't dealing with what Diamond Dane dealt with, as far as going and doing time and just sitting in a jail cell looking at this young boy that he'd mentored do everything that he dreamt of doing, and just dealing with that angst and that just what could grow in you if you've been put in a situation and your life has been changed for the worst, so it was just so deep. Like I just felt like it was so deep. In that end scene that you brought up, it was so pivotal to see Michael B. Jordan walk back into that room when, here's someone who he loved, and he was like, I want to help you. Then he finds out that this guy was slimy and grimy and had set up a whole situation to be able to like take this title. And then he turns on him and talks crazy and is in the press. And the one friend he thought he was completely different. He saw the villain that he was. And then when he did beat him and put him, he forced him to have that humility moment. He didn't just like stomp on him. He actually went in there and like put his hand. I mean, and it was just like the brotherly love you hope that a brother would show another brother that, that did you wrong, but like you said, there was still that spark of love and hope in there. And he was like, I'd rather hold on to that love and I'd rather hold on to that hope. It just was everything for me. How was it for you?
And this is the thing I liked about it, is that there really wasn't that much ring time. Like this is more of the story is happening around the decisions they're making around life, and that puts the fighting it gets elevated because the stakes are realized and they're higher, because like, okay, what led up to Adonis Creed getting back in the ring, right? Like, why is he there? What is he there to prove? Why is this important? It's not his ego. It's not money. It's not fame. That's not what he's here for. But this is what it took, and this is why it's so important. And so, they told an amazing story, as well as, did some amazing work in, telling a boxing story. It's a great boxing movie, but it's just a great movie. And I think it might get overlooked by some people, maybe even critics, because it's so simple. It's not a complicated story at all. I mean, it really is so easy to follow, but it doesn't lose you because the performances are so strong. And we talked about it. Her name is Mila Davis Kent, who plays Adonis Creed's daughter. And she is hearing impaired, deaf, and they sign in the house. And we're seeing more ASL happening in movies and TV shows, and it's being more normalized, which I really love. And we're getting exposed to this expressive language that I think more people should learn. And I myself am looking into learning at least a working knowledge of it, because there's more people out here that use it and it's a means of communication. But this young actor, she emotes and connects so amazingly well without any of the same tools that, you know, a normal actor would have of, you know, what kids do. They yell and they cry and they do all this stuff. And she's able to emote and connect with the audience with facial expressions and body expression and eye contact with other characters. And we almost forget how important that is on screen until we see that being the only way that the actor is connecting and being a part of the scene. And she steals every scene she's in, including the finale of the movie. It's more emotional. This is my humble opinion, more emotional than the finale of the movie and the victory in the ring for our fighters is her being in the ring and, you know, playing like she won. She's so proud of her dad and she's doing the moves and he's, you know, play boxing with her. Like, that's going to put your heart in your throat even more so than, you know, this amazing
it finishes
battle.
you off. It finishes
Really?
you off. Right?
Well, the movie
was wilding by this point.
Like, this movie reinforces, you know,
finish her.
Way, this is why this fight was so important. This is what he was fighting for. This is someone he's planning to raise. The drama that she's going through as the daughter of a fighter, you know, not understanding that fighting is not the first resort in school. You know, the girl ripped her picture and she just punched her dead. And I was like, and you got the dad sitting there like, why is my daughter in trouble? Like, why? What's up with this other girl? Well, maybe y'all should, you know, like, he's being the dad who's like, yeah, punch her. Like, and his wife is like, we're going to talk about this, you know, and it's so humanizing of all the characters. You know, he's not just this rich, famous icon who's just playing a role. He's a dad, he's a husband, and it allows us to go through these things that don't have any relevance to the plot other than connecting us to the characters in it. And they didn't have to do it, but I think the movie was great for it. And if you haven't seen it, you definitely need to go see it.
Yes.
Oh, well, you brought up a couple of things. Two of the women that, for me, they always do it for me, was Tessa Thompson, who played Bianca. She's been in all three movies. Felicia Rashad, who is Marianne. And this is the thing, like it like you brought up, you know, we have these amazing actors. We have, you know, Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors. I mean, they're major. But the women in this movie were equally as major and equally as impactful. Yeah, so powerful in how they've helped Adonis and how they've helped his journey. And I love it because it was, you know, you think about Marianne, who wasn't his birth mother. She was the wife of the father who had an affair and had an illegitimate son. And instead of her turning her back on him when, you know, she finds out about him, he's a troubled kid. He's fighting everybody. Like, he wasn't a kid who was even acting right. You know, they even show him as a teen sneaking out of her home, you know, and he was just a rebellious kid who was trying to figure out who he was and what was left of his life after losing his father and losing his mother tragically. And so you just think about a woman like that who basically took him in and became his surrogate mother, became his mom, you know, and she gave him everything until his last breath, you know, and it's just so impactful. And then I've always loved the relationship between Bianca and Adonis. Like, I think their love affair is beautiful. I think how they fell in love, how they stay in love. I love seeing them in this movie fight, you know, and legitimately she's trying to, like most men, he wasn't vocal about what he was feeling and his emotions, but she sensed it. She knew right away something wasn't right with him. And just having to help him pull that out. And then looking at him and go, you got to go do what you got to do. If you got to fight him, if you got to come out of retirement, then you got to do it. I just loved it. Christi, what were your thoughts? Because I know you were right there with me. Mm-hmm.
So I just want to also add into the mix as we talk about the power of these women that are in this film. The mom of remind me his name, the fighter that's in Adonis's gym.
It was Felix Chavez, and his mom was Laura Chavez, and it's Salinas.
Yes.
She was the woman from Orange is the New Black. Amazing
yes.
actress. She's
fierce, honey. But again, it just showed the connection that these not only just women and not only just women of color, but these mothers had, you know, with their sons, with their husband, and just and with their child, just the power in all of that, and that they're fighting. It's just bigger than this fight in the ring. It's outside the ring. It's you know, even when Tessa's character, when Bianca is fighting to find out what is going on with her husband, what's up with Adonis, why won't he communicate? And she's on the brink of, and I'm thinking, oh Lord, Black love, stay together. Like, I need him to open up, just open up. Like, it's just the fight, the struggle of every woman probably. But anyway, you know, I just think that that's so powerful to show that. It's just all these different threads that we get with this film. I mean, there's just there's nothing minuscule about it. There's nothing that is, everything brings some weight to the game. I mean, it is beautiful to watch in more ways than one. But it definitely connects that heart and mind. And the women were just as fierce as the men. I will say that.
Yes, they were. Yes, they were. You know who else was really a standout for me? Was Wood Harris. He's been in a few of these movies.
Yeah.
He is one of the most underrated actors. Yeah. Like, he always shows up and shows out for me. He has been in every single thing, and he's like one of those guys who you probably look at his resume and he's had 100 credits. Like, he's been in so many movies. He's been around for years.
He is so good.
He always brings it, and he did in this one. He really was. I mean, he could sense it. Like, you know, most of these people who were boxers, like, most boxers weren't like Adonis, who grew up in a mansion and grew up, you know, and with a good life. Most people who become boxers, they became boxers out of necessity. That was the way that they harnessed the hard streets. Yeah. And it was the way they kept them out of trouble. It's kind of like similar to martial artists. A lot of martial artists learn how to do that because they probably were bullied or they act out in school. And so martial arts really centers a child and really gives them a focus, you know? And so that's kind of what boxing does. So when he sees Diamond Dame coming back into Adonis's life, he's like, look,
he already knew.
Be here. He knew from the jump. Him and the mama were like,
you got a chip on his shoulder. You got something to prove. He gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah.
It's like he read him like a book in like a minute. He's like, he's not ready. He's done it. You gonna let him get away with this? You know.
He saw it. He saw it. He knew.
He's seen it before. I feel like he's seen it before because he didn't have to guess at what was going on. He didn't barely even knew who he was. He didn't know the history. He was like, I already know everything I need to know about this dude.
And you know what? Let me say this about his character in particular. And I love seeing we get the fighting, we get the connection, the parallels between the Rocky films versus the Creed films. That character that Wood plays is just the steady heartbeat, the moral compass that we get out of that. He has his ear to the ground. He's got his finger on the pulse, and he is that I told you so, you know, but I'm still here. I'm going to show up for you, and we're going to get through this. I'll be right there. Yeah. You know, I don't agree with what you're doing. Your method is all wrong, but you know, he's right there for that support. And that's just so important because we need so much more of that. I mean, we look at our reality,
the Black community. Yeah. Black men
we need that support. Yeah. So kudos to Wood, man. He's dope. I like him.
Yeah, so dope. And you know what else I liked? I liked the people who came back. Like they had, you know, Victor Drago was helping, you know, Adonis get ready. Like it was just so like
that was powerful.
If you like Creed and you liked any of the other two movies, this movie really gives you all the feels. Like it gives you the story, like it gives you a new story. But it also gives you like that nostalgia that we got, like the things that we liked from the other movies.
Well, think about it. It also, again, it makes it almost like it's almost like, the sins of the father. So now Drago is coming back to fix the sins of his father that he didn't show. Drago never showed up for Rocky. So, but his son had more compassion, and he had more of of the wherewithal, I guess, to get with this guy that was, supposedly his nemesis, that he just wanted to conquer, and they become, I guess, more like associates.
And I think there's a respect, and that's one thing I loved about all of these films, even when Adonis lost in that first match, or when, like he beat him, there was a respect. Like there is a respect amongst it's like boxers. It's like you almost think of them as monsters in a ring, like they're just beating each other up. But if there is a respect, there's a skill, there's all of that. And even with Adonis and Dane had to respect this little boy that used to look up to him, and he goes, "You did learn some things without me." He did learn the craft. He wasn't just a flash in the pan and you got lucky because I wasn't here.
Right.
Adonis really had built up his skill. He had really defeated all these people because he was a skilled fighter. And it was just a cool, like you said, it was really a cool story. Like, I don't know. I really came out feeling good. And, I don't know.
I don't know about anybody else, but I got to tell y'all, when that whole scene happens, when Adonis comes back and he does that interview with Stephen A. Smith, who, oh my God, he's just so obnoxious. Listen, the phone call, and he was like, run it then. Well, I was like, yo, I'm here for everybody.
TV.
Yo, this was so
here now. It's happening.
It was like that exchange was so real and palpable, and just we could touch it. And anyway, that was, to me, it was such a climactic moment, because it was like, yo, these bros is like for real. Like this is real life.
Personal.
They could really fight.
It was real life.
Yeah.
That was so good. But that's their chemistry. I mean, they just have an incredible chemistry. And again, you can't get away from the Kang versus Killmonger. Like, that's all I kept shouting. Kang versus Killmonger. Let's go.
Can we bring Killmonger
in no RPX theater no more? Y'all need some quiet Dolby seating with the reclining chairs.
I wanted to feel every punch.
Nice tea-related beverage. In there.
I was
just happy they didn't have any like wine, because some movie theaters you can get like a drink.
I would have
had a drink.
I would have showed.
She would have got up and run around the theater.
Right, she'd have running with Creed.
Listen. We felt every punch. We felt when the sweat flew off the face. I'd be like, why we can't feel the hug? Why we can't?
Yeah. Why can't we feel the loving embrace? I wanted to feel all of what Tessa Thomas was feeling when they was in that studio.
I want my money back. I want my money back.
This is the part of the show that's usually on BOP Plus.
Right. Hold up. But why can I see? I can see our producer Dana in the background. She's in the backstage and she's cracking up when I said I want to feel what Tessa Thomas felt in that studio.
Yeah.
She wants to feel it too.
Yeah.
Dana, did you want to feel that?
Y'all got to talk to the RPX company. Y'all got to tell them. Y'all got to put cocoa butter in the mister.
They didn't know what's up.
Right.
So you get the smell and the.
Ooh, yeah, some cocoa butter.
I know it was in there smelling
I might have got pregnant. I might have got pregnant if there was some cocoa butter involved.
We're going to see Creed again. It's for the BOP now. You need to stop judging me. I'm telling you, it's for work.
It was in there smelling like Nog Champa and cool water. Yeah.
Smelling like consequences, and I shouldn't be thinking these things during the movie.
And regrets.
It would not be good if they had the smell factor on it.
Y'all still be in the theater. That's wrong.
Okay,
y'all still be there.
Somebody got to edit. Where is the edit button?
No, we are not editing this.
Where is the edit button?
We are speaking to all the women who watched Creed, and we really appreciated every aspect of this movie because it needed to be appreciated. Now, first of all, I know Mr. Hilton was appreciating all of Tessa Thompson in that little skirt and them little cute outfits, like her wardrobe. She was on point in this movie.
Yeah, it was fierce.
Listen, tell me.
Tessa was not wearing nothing as shiny and naked as the brothers were. He had come out with oiled up. They're doing a training montage with her
just
man.
to show up.
I'd be up here snapping too, but I didn't get that.
Right.
I got her running around in overalls and
no, she was cute.
She was cute, but she wasn't all naked. Listen, so let's make sure anybody out here who's thinking they're gonna get some old naked Tessa Thompson is not happening. You
gotta use your imagination for that.
And Michael B. Jordan rolled up. And they are the ones on the scene doing that.
Y'all do. Hell, listen,
don't bring your girl.
It's been historical that women are just thrown out there to the wolves to just be in every compromising position and situation. So let me just say this: it's about damn time that we get like all the candy. And no, you take that off. Like, okay,
she's throwing dollars at the screen.
This is all in good.
Right.
Who threw these dollars on the floor?
where these panties come from? Why we got panties at the screen?
We got a little disclaimer. Do not throw panties at the screen. Do not throw money of any denomination at the screen.
I forgot which way to turn.
I know. I had to remind myself. It's okay.
Hilton, we're sorry we're doing this to you, Hilton. We apologize in advance.
Listen, it's about literally, it's about. That's so funny. No, this is a great film, yo. This is it's one of those, again, another moment we can't say enough. Like, do not look at the surface. It's not just about boxing. It is about so much more outside of that ring. I mean, they train well. Hell, you might learn a move or two to try to get yourself right. But again, it's about the human spirit. And you cannot deny that this film does. I mean, they just absolutely mastered that. They mastered the human spirit in this particular realm and beyond. And beyond.
And they forecast the future for, Adonis, like outside of boxing. Like there's a whole career that they've established for him to have. And he could probably be more of a Rocky, like how Rocky was to him. And maybe part 4, if they get a part 4. It was an amazing film. And she's right. It's about the human spirit. It's about brotherhood. It's about love and forgiveness and, just growth. Any final thoughts, guys? Hilton, any final thoughts from you?
No, that's everything Christi said. Definitely worthy seeing it in the theater.
It's
formula, but it's a successful formula. And I think as Americans, we have this special affinity for boxing movies and underdog movies, even when the underdog isn't the underdog per se. So everything you loved about the original Rocky series, that is being carried on as a tradition here and done so well. So it's definitely worth a see. See it in the theater. See it soon. Don't wait.
Don't wait.
Michael B. Jordan did that. He did his directorial debut.
Round of applause for that one.
He's not corny.
No, not. Oh my gosh! Did you see that interview? Like, I could have. It was.
You go, MBJ. Tell him.
Yes. So there was. No one knew that if you were under a rock, there was a blogger who interviewed Michael B. Jordan on the red carpet, and this was someone who went to high school with him, who used to call him corny and used to low key kind of bully him, or just how people are. And he of course she's on the red carpet with Michael B. Jordan, and he was like, oh yeah, like he called her out on it, and I love that. I love it. You don't know
because
you never know where people are gonna.
Like, we go way back, blah blah blah. Like, oh, you want to go way back? Let me tell people about what way back was. Now, if she hadn't said that, he might not have said that. But you trying to ride the coattails, act like we was cool, like
we was friends.
Corny. And talking behind my back all through high school. I remember you saying that. And he kept it professional and kept it level.
I love that.
I'm like, go ahead. That's how you do it.
You know
exactly.
what?
And this is the thing. The lesson is you never know where people are gonna end up. That corny nerdy dude ends up being the dude who becomes everything you'd ever dreamed of being, and you like, hi
and beyond.
You got to be nice to all the weird quiet people because they either gonna blow up and become millionaires and rich and famous, or they gonna be mass shooters, and you want to be the one they let go. So you need to be nice to everybody.
That is so real.
You're like, okay, this dude gonna burn the building down. Let me go on and dap him up. How you doing, Frank?
Like, make some friends. Make some friends today.
We ain't gotta hang out, but I'm not gonna be the one talking about
Frank. Remember that time I said hi? Did nobody know I talked to you, Frank?
If he's hungry, I'm gonna walk up out of here. I ain't got nothing to say.
This reminds me moment, but it really is true. Like, you got to think about how you treat people and where they become in life. Like, there are consequences to our actions. And one thing I will say, like, words hurt. Like, even though Michael B. Jordan is sitting on top of the world and he took that, like, he put her in her place without putting her in her place disrespectfully.
Without putting her
down.
He
brought it up. Exactly. Right. And he just said, let's talk about this. And he just opened up that can of worms, and she was like, and she kind of stuttered, but then she had to take it because that was their reality. But it's like, you don't know where people will end up. And you don't know, like, how when you treat someone just frivolously throughout your life, like how that impacts them. Because he's done a million things since then. But when he sat in front of this woman on the red carpet, it all came back.
It all came back.
It all came back. And luckily he's a good dude who respects women.
And Black Twitter did the work for him. Black Twitter did the work.
He didn't even have to do that. He kept it classy as hell. But Christi, go ahead.
That's fine. I haven't seen that, so I'm gonna have to look for that clip. But
look it up,
this makes me want to kind of go back to a conversation I kind of referenced about the world and how we receive, each other, and how we create these narratives around relationships, friendships, relationships, one and the same sometimes. This Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors relationship is so special. And they have been under, I don't know how valuable these people are that are talking. They're just, internet, they're keyboard bullies. Awful. They don't mean nothing to nobody. But I know I have read so many comments, and I love seeing the commentary that actually defends, their friendship and their connection to one another, and just going off of pictures and what's wrong with this picture and these photo shoots that they do. And everybody's is running around talking about the emasculation of the man, and the black man is under attack and we don't have nothing. I'm like, you know what these two brothers have is more valuable, more special, more real, more powerful than what many people know. And I know for myself, I will fight tooth and nail to protect that. I think that is special. I think it is real. It's a tangible relationship. Again, even when we mentioned them, another show, and talking about them coming out to see Angela Bassett and give her flowers, and it was, we knew what they meant. They talked about that backstage. Auntie. These are friends. These are friends. They are truly connected. And that is a beautiful thing. And their photo shoots, I think, reflect an artistic relationship between the two of them, as well as their personal relationship. And it's amazing. It's what we should all, strive for.
It highlighted the fact that a lot of the Black community, they're not comfortable seeing two men be soft with each other, being kind, hugging, like, and let's just say, like, who cares? Even if they were being, if there was some
romantic, if there was some romantic, element,
cares? Like, I was, you're right there with me. I was so mad at that underlying commentary that was happening within Black Twitter and everywhere else, saying stuff about them.
We got hoteps and we got heteps. And the heteps are the ones that do the chest thumping, and they're always talking about the emasculation of the man and all this stuff. And I'm just like, have you not seen history? Like, do you not remember Prince? Do you not remember the Isley Brothers? Do you not remember? Do you not remember
Earth, Wind, and Fire?
I mean, we've been through this. We've been through this decade after decade. There's nothing special about what's happening now in regards to the emasculation of men, and it's just veiled misogyny. It doesn't have anything to do with the men on the screen. I think everybody understands that Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors are not romantically involved, and that they're not.
Yeah, they do. They know it.
They're not projecting any, homosexuality or bisexuality or femininity. They know that. But this other side of it is what they want to use this as an excuse to talk about. And whenever I'm talking to somebody that brings them up, I'm like, look, these brothers care about each other, right? And I hug men, and you ever seen brothers dap? Some real brothers that really love each other. They will dap. They be they call it in the yoke. They be in the yoke like this.
Yeah.
They trying to kill each other.
And that's beautiful.
And nobody says nothing about this. So, but we can't take a picture where I'm looking over your shoulder or something like that, or whatever. And and I think that from an artistic perspective, it was poignant because these two actors were playing pugilists in the most violent and I guess macho masculine context on the screen, and juxtaposing that photo shoot over the movie actually was part of the promo of the movie.
It's brilliant.
Right? And that's an artistic thing that everybody seemed to miss because they were looking for something to talk about. And it puts us in these weird positions where we got to have these weird discussions with people who listen to a podcast or they watch the YouTube channel, and you're like, oh, here we go. You regurgitate what you heard somebody else say. And it's like, that, I said it like this. I said, if photography emasculates you, then you weren't that masculine to begin with. That bothers you so much that you have to say something.
And here's the thing.
You weren't masculine enough to begin with. You ain't really you're not losing any masculine points because you didn't have any.
And I think it's so ill-defined also what masculine is, because when they out here hate, whatever the word we want to use, y'all are out here demoralizing and diminishing the brilliance of Jonathan Majors' photo shoot on the couch in the pink with the stuff. Y'all know he was paying homage to Allen Iverson. To Allen Iverson, one of the greatest basketball players. Like, what are we doing? This was about.
Also was paid. The stylist paid homage to an anime character, and it was exactly like that. Yeah, and it was like, to me, it just angers me when we know we know what Black men are facing in this country. We know where we see our brothers and sisters just getting killed in the middle of the street, hands up, not doing that, and I mean, it's video after video after video, and you waste your breath on
this, the photo shoot,
and you waste your breath. Yeah, and it's just like, where are you when we really need to march? We really need to fight. We really need to donate money. Like, this is not the fight. Like, the fight is really, like, the real fight is much bigger. And so, if you know what, it's just, we got to surround these brothers with love. I say a prayer for them every time. We got to because they were so talented. And it was so beautiful to see, like you said, to see this brotherhood and this friendship. And to see where they really like respect each other as individuals. And it could be two actors. And how many times have you seen two top, billed actors and they can't get along because the ego comes in the room. These brothers did not do that. These brothers are having huge careers and are just helping each other. And it's just
and blessing the community.
You brought that up because I almost forgot about that and I wanted to talk about it. I'm glad you brought that up. And yes.
It's been bothering me.
It's been bothering me. And you're right, Hilton. It's all just misogyny. It's not like, let's call a spade a spade. Let's just let's have a real conversation.
Is really what it is.
Let's have a real conversation of what you.
Yeah, we're doing it to ourselves, and that's the biggest problem. And they think that somebody else is in control of that. No, they have all their capacities about them. They accept, they understand the assignments that they are given, and they are serving every time they show up. And there are those of us in this world that look just like us and cannot stand that they don't have the freedom to do that personal freedom. And so it just has to be talked about. You know, we could talk about this on every show because there's always some element of this attached to something we're talking about. So, but again, it's humanity.
And also, like, you know, I always say the Black community needs to embrace therapy, and we need to embrace, you know, healing these deep wounds that we have, and our idea of what a Black man should be and what a Black man's strength is. You know, I'm not going to look at a gangster and think that that's strong. I'm going to look at someone like, you know, Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan. I saw that as very powerful and very strong, with them you know, hugging each other and embracing each other. We really just have to heal as a community. And that's a whole nother conversation. But we're out of time. Yep. This was such a fun show. And Hilton, we apologize for our crazy.
I'm
sorry, not sorry.
I'll be crazy proud.
That's a hollow apology. It's a hollow apology.
Because you know, the next time we see either of them on the movie screen, we're gonna have the same reaction, and it's just gonna keep going and going.
You gonna with Christi, you gonna think she in RPX because she gonna be throwing herself all over the thing like, Christi, we in a normal scene, we jumping around.
Why do we put? We actually put pictures of Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan shirtless in our BOP chat. Like, if we had a human resource, we would have got reprimanded by now. We put Hilton.
Hey, this is our job.
Everybody needs.
This is our job.
We have to study.
This is our job.
Training for all BOP members.
Look, I am HR, so like, yeah, this is okay. We're doing our job. This is a part of the tasks and duties.
I forget who I put in there for you, Hilton. I put somebody in there for you one week, and you didn't even comment. You didn't even care.
I must have missed it. They didn't tag me. They didn't tag me, and I don't see it. Okay, I gotta look.
We gotta have more.
Go back and look.
We got to get a male producer to help balance out the female, the estrogen that's in our room. It's 3 women and Hilton. It's me, Christi, Dana, and Hilton. And poor Hilton.
Hilton's strong. Hey, listen.
You a strong Black man, Hilton. You a strong Black man, because you stand up. You stand right with us. You are never swayed by our craziness. So today's your day, Hilton. Today is your day.
Not on BOP Plus. BOP Plus has got to stay pristine. We got to get that's part of our branding. That's our moneymaker.
When we finally get some BOP Plus around here, I swear
we're going to have a party. We're going on a trip, y'all. Whatever residual, whatever payment we get, we're going on a trip.
The BOP Plus Cruise 2025.
Oh Lord!
On location.
The boat will never leave the dock. We get on and they kick us right off.
Like, see, this that after party stuff. Okay, we doing BOP Plus behavior
with this nonsense.
BOP Plus behavior.
Yes. Well, guys, until next time, we love you. We mean it. Continue to watch the BOP, the BLERD official podcast. We've had so much fun. See you next time. Bye.
Tune in every Tuesday for a new episode of the BOP, the BLERD official podcast.